what the heck is happening with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? There's two issues I want to address in this video. The first is this article from Bounding Into Comics, and the second is the new trailer. So first, here's the article. Rumour, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania undergoing reshoots to include Marvel's now trademark cheap laughs. Oh yeah, because that's exactly what the film needs. More of the stereotypical cheap Disney Marvel gags, laced with irony that completely undermines serious moments in the story. The article says, earlier this month, Paul Rudd was reportedly photographed on location in Los Angeles filming the reshoots. Fan site paul-rudd.com shared a couple of photos from the set showing Rudd carrying what appears to be a Baskin-Robbins box. Following this revelation, Andre Einherjar of Midnight's Edge reports the reshoots are being undertaken to insert Marvel's trademark cheap jokes into the film. Einherjar reports, for all its virtues, the Marvel executives did allegedly have one problem with the cut Peyton Reed delivered. Apparently, it deviated too much from the Marvel formula. That is to say, it had a compelling story and narrative structure that would keep fans engaged, but what it apparently didn't have was enough jokes, laughs, and trademark Marvel lightheartedness. He continues, that then is what the reshoots reportedly were aimed at doing. Add jokes and cheap laughs into a by default serious movie with heavy themes in order to make it more lighthearted and fun for the masses. If this is true, it's a great shame because from the trailers, this looked like the first Ant-Man film with a more serious tone and with a deep and meaningful character-driven story. Now, as I've said before, I don't like the visual style of the film, but it does appear that the stakes are at least much higher in this film when compared to the first two Ant-Man films, and it looks like, while the Thor films started out more serious in tone and gradually descended into the realm of comedic farce, the Ant-Man series began with goofy quips and comedy, and now it looks to be finally telling a grown-up, serious story. But alas, if this rumour is to be believed, how much has this new Ant-Man film been compromised by studio intervention? While Rudd was reportedly photographed performing the reshoots on January 6th, Einherjar claims the reshoots have actually been taking place for a number of weeks already on a closed soundstage. He notes the reshoots to this end were independently documented on January 6th, but apparently the reshoots to, Marvel up the movie have been going on a closed soundstage for weeks already. As he closed out the video, he also provided the opinion of his source on whether the reshoots have improved the film. In the opinion of our source, no, the studio-approved release version is still far better than most Marvel movies released in the last few years. But forcing cheap laughs into what was originally a somber tale allegedly caused some jarring tonal shifts, which were quite detrimental to director Peyton Reed's original version, Einherjar relayed. He then asserted, the movie-going public will never know, of course, but the version they will be seeing in theatres come February 17th is apparently a cut made worse by studio meddling. So I suppose we're just going to have to wait and see. Reshoots and pickups are pretty common for big movies like this, but I'm just hoping these last-minute changes weren't designed to make the film more lighthearted and more in line with the recent bland and generic MCU tone. But I do think it's worth talking about the second trailer that was released in the last week. A lot of people are praising Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania as a result of this second trailer, saying that the film looks much more serious and hardcore with a more interesting and deep story, and it looks like Paul Rudd's character of Scott Lang is really challenged, both personally and physically, in a way that he just wasn't previously. He's really up against a very tough villain this time, although some of the film looks a little familiar to me.
You don't want any part of this.
But the trailer is actually something I take issue with. In the first trailer, we didn't really know too much about the plot, beyond the fact that the main characters get caught in the quantum realm. But this second trailer gives away basically the entire plot. We now know that the central villain, Kang, played by Jonathan Majors, has the power to rewrite existence and give back to Scott Lang the time he lost with his daughter Cassie during the blip.
I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want.
What's that?
Time.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much.
And so that's a huge plot reveal in the trailer as it is. And if it had have been left there, it would have been a reasonably compelling tease for the audience. But unfortunately, the trailer doesn't stop spoiling the plot there. Kang proceeds to make some demand of Scott for him to bring him what he needs, or his life as he knows it will end. And then Scott says, "We had a deal," presumably referring to the arrangement where Kang helps Scott get back the time he lost with Cassie, meaning that we now know that Kang has either betrayed Scott or reneged on the deal, as villains tend to do, and then we see Kang and Scott fight at the end, with Kang saying, "You thought you could win?" and Scott replying with, "I don't have to win, we both just have to lose." So we now know the general overview of how the hero and villain relationship will unfold in the story. Bad guy makes hero a tempting offer he can't refuse, which probably comes loaded with a moral or ethical predicament or devastating consequences, or is in fact a trap, and then the deal goes south because the bad guy and the hero can't reconcile their differences, so they have to fight it out in the end. There's hardly new ground being broken here, not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. After all, this kind of plot is a tried and tested superhero movie formula that works. It's just a shame the trailer essentially spoils almost the entire basis of the story's central conflict. In my opinion, this is how not to do a movie trailer. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this trailer? Do you think the Ant-Man films should move in a more serious direction, or should they remain lighthearted? Were these rumoured reshoots to lighten up the movie a good idea, in your opinion? Are you looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.